Hello, friends. The lighting is very funky. It looks very ghostly. That's cool. We can go for a haunted yoga class. I am personally moving through a bit of a depressisode. So it was incredibly hard for me to get motivated to be down here and to do this, but I'm so glad that you're here with me. This is going to be primarily seated. We'll do a little standing flow at the end. We'll actually end standing. I find that helps me when I'm like not motivated to do things, to just be like, okay, let's sit and breathe about it, maybe move, and then eventually kind of to end standing. Can be really helpful. Like you're already upright, you're already a little re-energized. So grab whatever you need to be comfortable seated. I have a little bolster, little seat cushion guy, little meditation cushion. Use whatever you've got. And we'll figure this out. However you land on your mat today in your space, take a moment to really root down. So maybe rock through your sit bones side to side, maybe roll your shoulders back a couple times. Whatever helps you kind of like sit back and in to the floor. Your legs can be in any position. Mine are comfortable crisscrossed. If yours are not, legs can be out and wide. One heel can be tucked in. Again, whatever just helps you feel grounded through your sit bones, through your legs. And then we'll begin here with a mudra. I think it's pronounced Abuhana, but I apologize if it is not. And for this mudra just means like a symbol with your hands. And for this one, it's like you're giving the air a high five, except that your thumb and your pinky maybe pull away a little bit from your other three fingers. Typically, this is done with your right hand and your right elbow tucked in. And this is where we're going to meditate. If this is not comfortable on your arm, if mudras are not a part of your practice that feel authentic to you, hands can rest downward towards your legs or towards the floor, some other place where they feel grounded. If you're curious, I've chosen this mudra because it is considered equal parts receptive and protective. So this mudra is kind of saying like stop to anything that is not good for me. And also it's an open palm. So I can also receive and hold on to or grasp that which is good for me or the goodness that is coming for me. So it's one that I tend to rely on when feeling particularly stuck in life. Like whatever I need to release, my hand is open, I'm letting it go. And whatever I need to receive, my hand is open and ready to receive. Whether you choose the mudra or not, do begin to drop your breath deep into your belly, as deep down towards your belly button as you comfortably can. Maybe your opposite left hand comes to your belly to help you remain aware of your breath. We'll take another 10 to 20 breaths here. If your mind is wandering, that's okay. You can always come back to your focus of your breath deep in your belly. Or if your mind needs something a little more creative today, you can imagine releasing through your open palm whatever needs to be released, and receiving through your open palm whatever it is that you'd like to receive. So for example, this morning, I'm picturing the fatigue, the unmotivation seeping out of my open palm, and then fresh energy, fresh motivation, fresh perspective being absorbed in through my open palm. When your breath and body are ready to move on, with an inhale, squeeze both your hands tightly into fists. Big exhale, press your fingers wide and your arms out and wide. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, squeeze inward, contract. Exhale, press, stretch outward. With your own deep breaths. Another 2 to 3 rounds. Take a big inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, lean to the right. Great big side body stretch. As we hold to the side, I invite you to circle through your top left shoulder. With another great big circle, send your left fingers down over your right knee. Fold as far over your right knee as feels good in your spine. Take 2 to 3 breaths to roll on back up. There's no rush. Big inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, I invite you to repeat that same sequence other side. So leaning to the left, top right shoulder circles. This movement can be however big or small, however soft and subtle, or deep and big you'd like. With your own breath, on an exhale, right fingertips also drop down, reach out over your right knee. Pause for a couple breaths. And then use a couple breaths more to roll back up to seated. Big inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale through the mouth, arms melt. Bringing hands towards your legs or towards your hips, or even a little bit higher, like the top of your hips or the underside of your ribs. Find really small circles through your torso. It may help to think about what changes if this movement is generated from your tailbone, from like the very, very lowest point of your spine. versus if that movement is located from between your hips. The generation of that movement almost sits a little higher. Or what's been feeling really good in my body recently, which is the movement being generated from the belly button area, so slightly higher still. And there's no right or wrong. These are all just different ways to experience a little shift of energy, a little shift of movement and sensation in the lower half of your torso. Maintaining this kind of subtle or smaller movement, switch directions. And as you switch directions, maybe also switch the origin point of your movement, whether it's a little higher up in your belly button, whether it's coming from between your hips, or whether it's coming from your foundation against the floor. No right or wrong, just personal preference. We're going to make this movement a little bigger. So when you're ready to switch directions again, but this time instead of a really small, subtle circle, begin to press outward towards the edges of your circle. Keeping legs firmly rooted towards the ground, how far in each direction can you comfortably stretch? That is the question of this movement. And again, you can adjust the origin point for your movement. With a deep breath, switch directions. And it makes sense to finish out a deep breath in a circle, arrive back in a more neutral spine position. And with another deep breath in, we'll sweep arms up and overhead. Gently taking hold of your right wrist. Exhale, lean to the to the left. Holding onto your right wrist, leaning to the left. And then slowly begin to guide your right hand down towards your left knee. Turn to look over your left shoulder. If it feels good to continue to gently pull softly on your right wrist, you may here. One more full breath, this side. Take a big inhale, release the arms, recenter. Full exhale, gently taking hold of the left wrist, soft lean to the right. And then as though you're moving in slow motion, begin to guide left hand down towards your right knee. Turn your chin or your eyes over your right shoulder. Or in any other space, find what feels good on your neck. And again, you can continue like a very gentle pulling motion through your left arm at your left wrist, if that suits you today. One more full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, come center, arms sweep up one more time. Exhale, hands towards the floor. I'm gonna roll up over my knees to find tabletop. But you can also bring your hands to the side of your body or in any other way. Shift off of your sit bones, up onto hands and knees. And we'll find cat-cow. With inhales, dropping the belly button downwards, squeezing the shoulder blades together slightly. So you can pull your collarbones forward, chin lifts up. Exhale, chin tucks in, shoulder blades pull apart, back rounds. Continue with your breath. Inhale, spine sinks downward, gaze looks up. Exhale, back rounds, gaze looks between your knees. From this movement, we're going to find standing. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and if you need to reach for the wall beside you or something else that's next to you to help your body get upright, that's totally fine. If it's in your practice and your abilities to do so, the next time that you exhale, back rounds, tuck your toes under, lift your hips. We're not worried about form here. This is just a gentle downward facing dog. Knees can be really soft. Maybe walk the dog, relaxing one heel towards the ground at a time. And then begin to walk hands and feet towards one another. And with your own inhale, rise, roll on up. As you roll up into standing, big exaggerated inhale to pull your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, roll shoulders back. If it feels good, maybe do it one more time. Once again, we'll inhale, sweep arms up, overhead. Exhale, bring hands down through the center line of your body. And I invite you to pause in your standing pose. Feet about hip width apart, heels, knees, hips, shoulders, and ears all stacked or kind of all in the same plane. If you want to come back to our mudra or to a hand towards your breath, feel free. And for 10 breaths or so, press down through your feet, using that pressure to lift up a 0.5 centimeter taller through the crown of your head. And simply acknowledge what has shifted. Acknowledge where you feel heat or warmth in the body. Acknowledge where you feel a little more flexible, stretched. Notice where your body may still be holding on to tension. Notice where you feel a little lighter, where you feel a little heavier. All of these are neutral considerations. We're simply observing. Before you go on your merry way, I'll invite you to exhale fully through the mouth, relaxing arms again. And then taking your feet a little wider than your hips, allow your body to twist side to side. Again, this movement can be really slow, can be really soft, can be a little faster. Heels lifting as your hips twist to either side. Let your breath pick up pace if it would like to. And then in any way authentic to you, give yourself a little moment of appreciation. So mine tends to look like, yay, you did it. You got up and you moved, and look at how good it has felt. You're so worth all of the effort that it takes to keep your body limber. Way to go. And then in your own delightful way, finish out with one more inhale, arms circling up. Exhale, hands through your center. And if it feels authentic to you to do so, take a moment here of gratitude, of acknowledgement. You are worth all the effort. Namaste.